Hey guys, and welcome back to Flatback Effects. I've had a few of you email in requesting more glitch style tutorials, so this will be the first of a 3-part video where I'll be adding 3 different glitch effects to this pixelated logo animation. So stick around for part 1 where I'll show you how to make this awesome pixel effect. Right, so let's get started. So I'm going to come over here, right click, new composition. I'm going to call this one logo. I'm going to set this to be 1080-25, and I'm going to change the duration to be 10 seconds and then hit OK. Next, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to right click, new. I'm going to create a solid. I'm going to make this solid black and then hit OK. Next, I'm going to come up to effect. I'm going to come down to generate. Then I'm going to come down to this gradient ramp. I'm going to swap the colors. And I'm going to make this one sort of darker blue. This one I'm going to select this color here. And I'm going to make this one slightly darker as well. Then I'm going to grab this little icon down here and I'm going to move it down to this bottom corner. And I'm going to do the same for this one up here. Next, I'm just going to grab this scatter. I'm just going to scale this right up. Probably about there, just to get rid of the banding lines that we can see. Next, I'm going to create a new text. Now I'm going to call mine Flatback Effects. I'm going to come over to my character menu. I'm going to scale this up. And I'm going to choose quite a bold font. I'm just going to adjust this slightly. Maybe make it extra bold. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And then I'm just going to change the color. So I'm going to make this sort of blue, maybe something like that. Then I'm going to right click new and I'm going to create another text layer. And this is going to be your taglines. So I'm going to call mine Pixel Tutorial. So then I'm just going to position this underneath. So next, with my 2 layers selected, I'm going to come up to layer and then down to pre-compose. I'm going to call this composition effects and then hit OK. I'm going to double click that layer. I'm going to select my 2 text layers again. I'm going to come back up to layer and then down to pre-compose again. And I'm going to call this one text this time. Okay, so now I'm in my effects composition. Next, we need to create the pixelated effect. So the way we do this is we create a new adjustment layer. And I'm going to rename this one Pixels. I'm going to come up to effect, down to simulation. And we're going to use this effect that you've probably never used before called CC ball action. Now, all we need to adjust on this is I'm going to come over to my grid spacing and I'm going to adjust this to be 2 and my ball size, I'm going to make 55. And there you go. Now, I recommend just messing around with those settings to get different looks. So you can adjust these to actually get less or more pixels, or you can make the pixels bigger or smaller. But that's the basic effect. Next, I'm going to select this layer. I'm going to come up to edit and I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back to my logo layer. And I'm just going to simply paste that adjustment layer in. And I'm going to drag it so it's underneath our effects layer. Now on this layer, I'm going to adjust the grid spacing to be 6. And I'm going to adjust the ball size to be 150. So that's just going to affect the background. So you can see it's added that same effect to our background layer as well. So next we want to create that glitch effect. So I'm going to select my effects layer. I'm going to go to the 2-second mark and I'm going to come up to edit and I'm going to come down to split layer. Now the reason we do this is because in parts 2 and 3 we're going to be adding an effect. So those effects are only going to affect the first 2 seconds of this layer. I'm going to grab my top layer, I'm going to drag that one to the bottom and I'm going to move it back so it's lined up with the start. Now to get the best glitch effect, we need to try and make it as erratic as possible. So we do this by grabbing our top layer, and I'm simply just going to scale this one up. And I'm going to move it off the screen. I'm going to make it nice and large. Doesn't even matter about maintaining the aspect. We just need to scale it up. The messier, the better. So I'm just going to zoom in here on the timeline. And I'm just going to go across. And I'm going to split this layer again. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. Then I'm going to grab this one again. This time I'm going to scale it down. I might move this one down here. I might also drag this out so it looks a bit stretched. I might split this layer again. I'm going to move this one over a little bit more. This time I'm going to scale this one right up. I'm going to move this one down. I might split this layer again. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said before, the more erratic the better. So the messier you can make it, you know, stretch it out, move it around the screen, the better the effect's going to look. Now I'm going to move these ones up here. And basically where we have the gaps, we want to line this bottom layer up, which is our clean effect, so that we can only see it when it's in these gaps. I'm going to split this layer. So if I just play through that, you can see already that we've created that sort of effect. Now, I can shorten these down to speed up this effect. And you can also grab one of these layers you've done before, and you can just come up here to duplicate, and then just simply reuse it. So you can just drag it again back into that timeline, and you can even just readjust it slightly so it's a bit more erratic. So like I said, the more erratic, the better. So it looks good when you sort of stretch them out. So I'll even make these shorter again, just to help speed up this effect. So I'm just going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to move this one right down here, shorten this down. And I'm just going to pop this one in down here. Split this layer, just to fit this one in. So I'm just going to adjust this one again, just mix it up. Okay, now for those of you who want to match my original composition, I've made this quick graph, and you can get the length, which is in frames, and then the position and scale requirements to match the layers of my original composition. Alright, so once you've messed around with those and you're happy with the effect, next we're going to add a little bit of shake. So I'm going to create a new adjustment layer. I'm going to call this one shake. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of the ones that have the effect on them, which are these top layers here, and I'm going to parent them to my shake layer. Next, I'm going to navigate down to the position. While holding Alt, I'm going to click on the position keyframe, and I'm going to type wiggle bracket 15,1 bracket, and then just click away. So what that's going to do is it's going to give a little bit of shake to those layers that have the effect on them. Now another thing we can do is we can add another new adjustment layer. I'm going to call this one scale, and I'm simply just going to create a scale keyframe, go to the end of my composition, and I'm going to scale this up slightly to about there. Now I'm just going to grab these bottom layers here, and I'm going to parent them to my scale layer. So now if we play through that, you can see it's got a slight scale on it. So there you go guys, there's part 1 of our pixel effect. So stick around for part 2 and 3, where I'll be adding an RGB split and a static TV look. Thanks for watching guys, that's it from me, and stay tuned for more great tutorials.